The apocalypse is upon us.
Before Alien starred angst-ridden teenagers and a hideous CG Ian Holm,
There's some real pretty shit!
it was a classic science fiction horror series that had a unique feel movie to movie. With Alien Resurrection on the horizon in 1997, Fox decided to bless gamers with the best Alien video game yet. And thank God it was a shooter that came to the Sega Saturn. Why? Well, up until 1996, the wait for Doom was killing every frag-hungry Sega Saturn owner, and from the darkness of space came Probe to save us from the wait for a decent shooter. Taking place in a weird, condensed version of all three movies into one video game, Ripley goes from movie to movie, somehow never leaving LV-426. Let's not ask questions though, let's just shoot things with guns. Alien Trilogy is a pretty standard first-person shooter. 3D environments house 2D rendered sprites of aliens, human security, synths, and alien queens as Ripley goes from mission to mission, attempting to complete objectives therein. These objectives are never really that complicated, and almost always come down to collecting items or flipping switches. You're not really penalized for not meeting objectives either, as long as you get most of what you're expected to get, you can miss a few and keep on going. While in practice, the game is a linear crawl from level to level, at times there's some effort made to give the illusion of being in a much larger space. While you're still just going from level, to get to the next, you're tasked with traversing a smaller mini-level which acts as a sort of hub. Ripley controls well and is equipped with all the great tech from the movies. Motion trackers, pulse rifles, smart guns with homing rounds. It all feels great to use. Alien Trilogy excels in the fluency of its control and the satisfying bombacity of its pyrotechnics. Throw some seismic survey charges at an alien blowing it to pieces? Ah, that feels good. Burn the hell out of a bunch of eggs with a flamethrower? Nothing could be as satisfying. On top of the standard romping around looking for security passes, you can find hidden caches of weapons and items which add to your end of level totals. Do well enough and occasionally you'll get the opportunity to resupply through levels with no enemies but a tight time frame.
I admire its purity.
Graphically, Alien Trilogy is solid. What it lacks in colored lighting it makes up for in destructible windows, well-modeled xenomorphs and a smooth frame rate. Texturing on 3D models is also quite attractive, and geometry on things like crates and APCs does the job. Where the game falls down is in the dismal draw distance, repetitive textures, and a general feeling of repetition that tends to creep in after you've played 15 to 20 levels. Alien Trilogy also has a great soundtrack, with moody electro and techno tunes accompanying you throughout your atmospheric travails around LV-426. Probe always had great music in their 32-bit games, and Alien Trilogy is no exception. Sound in general is very good, with great use of movie sound effects like the pulse rifle and the snarling of the xenomorphs. Alien Trilogy is pretty great. It's a solid FPS with enough innovation to keep things interesting. It doesn't reinvent the entire genre, lacks the multiplayer of the DOS version, and the game does get slightly repetitive by the end. But notwithstanding some minor faults, there's no reason to avoid Alien Trilogy if you fancy some alien blasting action on your Saturn.